extreme gob, you prick! Make me puke! You backward, stopping those natters, you give me an argument!
Oh, I'm sorry, this is abuse. Oh. Oh, no, you want 12A next door.
I see. Yeah.
Sorry. Not at all. No, that's all right. You git. Hey. Is this the right door for argument? I've told you once. There you have. Yes, I have. Oh, just now. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Didn't I? Didn't. I'm telling you I did. You did not. Oh, sorry. Is this only a 5-minute argument or full half hour? Oh, just for 5 minutes. Thank you. Anyway, I did. You most certainly did not. Let's get one thing right clear. I most definitely told you. You did not. Yes, I did. You did not. Yes, I did. Didn't. Yes, I did. Didn't. No, this is an argument. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. It's a contradiction. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. It is not. It is. You just contradicting me. No, I didn't. Oh, you did. No. You did. No nonsense. Oh, look, this is futile. No, it isn't. I came here for an argument. No, you didn't. You came here for an argument. Well, an argument's not the same as contradiction. Can be? No, it can't. An argument is a collective series of statements to establish a definite proposition. Oh. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. It isn't just contradiction. Look, if I argue with you, I must take up a contrary position. But it didn't just say no, it didn't. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Argument is an intellectual process. Contradiction is just an automatic game of saying anything the other person says. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, look. Thank you. What? That's it. Morning. Oh, just getting interested. Sorry, the 5 minutes is up. That was never 5 minutes just now. Afraid it was. No, it wasn't. Sorry, I'm not going to argue anymore. What? If you want me to go on arguing, I'll have to pay for another 5 minutes. But that was never 5 minutes just now. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. I'm very sorry, but I told you I'm not allowed to argue unless you say. Oh, all right. There you are. Thank you. Well, what? That was never 5 minutes just now. No, John, I'm not allowed to argue unless you pay. Oh, just pay, didn't I? I did! I don't argue about that. I'm very sorry. Aha! Well, if I can pay, why are you arguing? Gotcha. There you are. Isn't that? If you're arguing, I'll have to pay. Not necessarily. Could be arguing in my spare time. Oh, that is enough of this. There you have. Oh, shut up. I want to complain. You want to complain? Look at these shoes on in 3 weeks. I want to complain about my plane. Nothing happened to you, Martin. As well, not bother. And my back hurts. I want to be on a fun day. I want to go. Hold your head like this and then go, wow! Try to get, whoa! Better, but wow! Hold your hands here. Whoa! Now, wow! That's good! Stop hitting me! What? Stop hitting me! Stop hitting you? Yes. Or, what did you come here for? I came here to complain. Oh, I'm sorry. That's next door. It's being hit on the head lessons in here. What a stupid concept.
Right, hold it there.
What?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Inspector Fox of the Light Entertainment Police Comedy Division Special Flying Squad.
Flying Fox of the yard?
Get up!
Oh!
And you! Wow! He's good. You could learn a thing or two from him. Right now, you two, your beauties, you are nicked.
What for?
I'm charging you under Section 21 of the Strange Sketch Act. You are hereby charged that you did willfully take part in a strange sketch, that is, a skit, spoof, or humorous vignette of an unconventional nature with intent to cause grievous mental confusion to the great British public. Keeping off. And you talk. Wow! That's excellent! Right, come on down the aisle.
Hold it. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Inspector Thompson Gazelle of the Program Planning Police Light Entertainment Division Special Flying Squad.
Flying Thompson Gazelle of the Yard?
Shut up!
He's good.
Shut up! Wow! On 3 counts. 1, acts like a self-conscious behaviour, contrary to the Not in Front of the Children Act. 2, always saying it's so-and-so's a yard every time the thug arrives. And 3, and this is the cruncher, offences against the getting out of sketches without using a proper punchline act. Namely, simply ending epic bleeding sketch by just having a policeman children come in and... Wait a minute! Hold it. It's a fair clock.
Don't all laugh at once. Don't even crack a smile, please. Stay right here.
You know, I really enjoy interviewing applicants.
There's a reason why there's a hole burning in my stomach. Why did you say that? I don't know. We covered a lot of material in that, didn't we? A lot of material. Why? Okay. I told you. Ain't going off, people. I might turn it down a little bit. But here. You just move over there next to the Venetiano. Huh? You don't want to move? You don't want to move? You just untalk. Let's play with the 18. So Monty and see her. Sora, Brito. Campbell, yes. I've shown you stuff from this comedy troupe before. Do you know who they are? Do you know who they are? Well, you weren't here. They showed you the name at the very beginning. Do you know who they are? Well, you got a haircut. You got a shave girl, and then you got the little line. It's very kind of 80s-ish thing. Cool. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. No idea. Okay. So we don't remember the group. I showed you their little sketch on block, their soccer. Vanessa, yeah, remember? Put out a few films, Holy Grail, like Brian, Light, what else? I'm missing one, I forget. No, not coming to you yet? How do you know that? Back in the day. You know, a lot of them are still alive, you know, like John Cleese is still alive, you know. Monty Python. Monty Python's Flying Circus, we're called. Very influential in comedy. Could have shown you Benny Hill, but Benny Hill is dirty sometimes, so I won't. Anywho, well, we did cover a lot of material. They defined argument. Did you catch that, Ms. Johnson? Where the guy defined what an argument is? Excuse you.
No.
Well, you asked me to excuse you, didn't you? Excuse me, which is the request. But I'm not sure I want to honor that request because clearly the guy gives a definition of argument. He also talks about his clock. Monty Python. I'll probably have to upload it to the my channel so you can watch it. There she is. Name is Almonte. Did you get caught by the fire? Okay. Talk about what an argument is and what it is not. Talk about contradiction. Now, woman, where are you going? Benechado, contradiction. What is contradiction? You're making an argument. What is contradiction when you're making an argument? He doesn't really go over this Kelly doesn't really go over this. You're fine. In the chapter, he does so in syllogism. So I wanted to talk about it anyway. Get there. Yeah, go ahead.
You're bringing up your view.
Okay, good. To some extent. Good. Yes, you're on the right track, sir. Believe it or not, that's not totally true when it comes to syllogisms. So I'll tell you why. Turn it down on low. It ain't going on, woman. Okay. Hello, miss. You're almost correct, sir. You're very close. Yes, a contradiction from two Latin words, contra eco. I know I have to yell because my friend is over there. So, contra. What's the Latin word? Eco. Eco, dicere, dixi. Dictum? Yes. Sorry. Which one? My dad. Why don't you sit up? You sit up over there or someplace. What's the Miss Ferguson? What's Ferguson?
Oh, there is somebody.
Oh, there is. No. What's there? You could, right now the notes. Or at least put your phone on the table and write down the notes. See, what is he doing? He's contradicting me. He's challenging the premise of my argument that he might be more comfortable, more able to take notes someplace else. Challenging my premise. Okay, sir. God bless you. Send me a copy of your song. I don't have the vocal part. Listen up, Mr. Williams. Do not be distracted, please. Yes. I do. Still there?
Nobody's there.
No, I'm not surprised. No, I'm not surprised. There are a number of people who would not say something. Anyway, contra, those of you who speak Spanish, speak French, speak Portuguese, speak Italian, you know what contra means. What does it mean? Again. Right there. It's almost exactly the same. Although, what would it be in Spanish? Contra? Not contra. Is that contra? Is it contra as well? It's contra. Same thing. Exactly the same thing. So, again, and dico, you know, this is Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, etc. In Italian, it's like exactly the same. Dico, you know, tell me, you know, dicere. Dico, dicere. In Spanish is a little bit different in decía. But if you've ever wondered why, when you speak Spanish, you want to say, I have said something, you have to say, what, not hoy de hecho. No, not hoy de hecho. How would you say, I have said something, sir? No, but you have dice, etc. But I have said something. Yo dije. Okay, fine. But I said, I have said something. Yo voy dicho? You're stuck on dije, sir. Moving along. Say dicho? Dicho? Is the past participle of decir?
Yeah.
Dicho. Said. Not past tense, past participle. Dicho. Why is it dicho? Because in Latin it's dictum. It's dictum. And in Hispanic, in the province of Hispania, the sound became a ch. It's true. Why do you say, who's the past tense? When I say I said, past preterite, simple past, I thought it was dice, but no, dijo, right? Dijo, no, dijo, it's, well, let's look. La da da dee 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 dee. When I'm not sure and nobody's going to help me, I got to help myself. Who just came in? Oh, Ms. Montez? I'm losing Mr. Brito, so it's okay. Bring on. I thought he had to go get his, shoulder iced or something. No? Okay, well. Verbix. Really handy-dandy little tool if you're ever stuck for how to conjugate a verb in a foreign language. Oh, darn it, they changed the website. Oh, man. Okay. This is what I want. Verbix Online Verb Conjugator, okay? Now I want to go down. Now look at all these languages. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are dead languages, like Etruscan is pre-Latin language from Italy. Really cool. Gothic is is the Germanic language that they don't speak anymore. Hausa, they speak in Africa. Cool. Jamaican. Let's see what that is. See if you know your language. Jamaican. I think that means think, but you pronounce it tink. Let's see. Me tink, you tink, him tink, we tink, we'll tink, them tink. Is that accurate? Pretty accurate? So what you think, Bon? Or Mon, I should say. What you think, Mon? We go have some ganja later. No. No. Only if you have a prescription, Mr. Williams.
Only.
For Spanish. Let's see if they have Desir. There we go. Desir. Digo, dice. Okay, I want the hat. Decías. That's not what I want. This is the one I want. Dije. Dijiste. Dijo. Dijimos. Dijisteis. Dijeron. Why is it dije? Because dico, ditre, dixi, dictum. Dixi, the X sound, dixi, became more of a guttural in the Hispanic world. It became dicho, or dixi. Actually, that became dije from dixi. And say against. Okay, to say something against, I'm not going to write it on the board, you'll have to write it in your notes. Oh, Ms. Montez, is that what is that, milkshake or something? Anyway. To say against, that's what a contradiction is. But that's not exactly what a contradiction is, Mr. Bridge. Plato. I know he's not here, but we'll talk to him. Here's a, well, it's not a truth table. It's, well, I forget what it's called. It's a square. It's a square. All know, some know, or some not. Okay? All things are whatever. Or no things. No things are whatever. No, nothing is. Some things are whatever. Some things are not whatever. But some might be. Some implies. Or, that's what you've heard from the word some. And that's us. Write this down. This is important. I'm going to. Huh?
I'm not sure what's right.
Well, write down the square.
I wrote that.
Write down everything I say except the jokes. Write down everything I say except the jokes. I honestly, I don't know how many other languages I should say that in. I should, but write down everything I say except the jokes.
Write down
On your page should be filled with notes by the end of the class. You should have at least, if you don't have 2.5 to 3 pages of notes by the end of the class, something's wrong. You're sitting right there. I just told you what it was. It's the square. It's the square. It's the square. I pointed at the board. I just went over it. You have the textbook. What's the textbook? Who actually has the textbook? Oh, I got to use Mr. Nate. Hey, now I know Mr. Nate. You are prepared. I understand. You have reason to be. It's in the chapter on syllogism. Which I don't care about validity or anything like this. Diagrams which will not touch this whole. Square of opposition. But anyway, thank you today. The square of opposition. The square of opposition. All as opposed to no, some as opposed to some not. It's called the square of opposition. I'm not going to write it on the board. Write it in your notes. Pay attention, please. Square of opposition. Okay, it's a square. All against no, some against some not. Ms. Luisma, I know her hair is captivating, but you got square of opposition down. Got it, okay? You understand what it is, Ms. Simcoe. Okay? It's a basis for categorizing arguments, typically used for syllogism. I'm not doing syllogisms. I've exposed you to syllogism a little bit, but I'm not going to do it, because I want to blow my brains out if I take the chapter on syllogisms. But some of it is actually helpful. Okay? All cats are bad pets. No cats are bad pets. Some cats are bad pets. Some cats are not bad pets.
Okay, so we're talking about that.
Huh?
Cats.
Yeah. Some cats are not. All cats are, no cats are not. Now, Mr. Brito is still not here.
Did you say it was based off of syllogism?
Yes, it's based off of doing syllogism. But, did I say something funny, or what's funny? Come on, Panda Bear, I want to know what makes you laugh. That's your nickname. We decided on that weeks ago. Okay, Ms. Edwards, what makes you laugh?
What makes you laugh?
Did she say something that made you laugh?
Yeah, Rebecca said it happened to a temperature.
that makes you laugh.
No, it wasn't that made me laugh.
It was something else. Okay, what was something else that made you laugh?
I'm crazy. Yeah, like a little crazy.
All right, tell me. What's crazy thing that made her laugh? Oh, that I'm crazy?
Yes, that's really nice.
That's crazy other times, don't you think? She doesn't laugh. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Particular moment is beyond crazy.
Rachel asked the question. Trying to tell you why he was not totally correct. Why? Because when you contradict, you're not necessarily saying everything is wrong, are you? A contradiction is you're just saying that some of it might be wrong. Difference. We often, in the way we talk, use the word contradiction when we really should, according to syllogistic logic, use the word contrary. Now do you see where I'm going with it, Ms. Montez? I keep mentioning what you said, Brito, about contradiction. Do you see? You see? Ms. Edwards, do you see? You see it now? I'm being silly because I like to try and make people laugh, relax, help people learn. Maybe my silliness sticks in your head and you remember the joke and it leads you to the answer. Does it? Not for you? Contrary. These statements are contrary to each other. Either all of them are, or none of them is. Ms. Simcoe, you've either scored 2 goals this season, or you have not. There's no in between. There's no, well, I kind of scored 2 goals. No. I'm either a man or I'm not a man. Although nowadays, you know, given what's going on as we read newspapers with all these court cases about transgender people in bathrooms, the bathroom they want to use. Whatever. Huh? What's wrong with that? Although sometimes it gets kind of weird. Remember, like 6 months ago, that story in the news with that white girl who was working for the NAACP said she was black, and she would even tan her skin and braid her hair and dreadlocks and stuff like that. She said she really identified with black people. When you saw her when she was a teenager, she was like total blonde, white as white could be. Hey, you know. Hey, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, if I shouldn't say anything because I'm a white man, but I'm just saying, some woman wants to come into the men's bathroom. She says she's a woman, you know. You know Chaz Bono, right? Or Chaz Bono? No? Ever heard of Cher? And her son, that is now, or her daughter, Chastity, that is now Chaz the man. Remember Chaz, I saw a quote from Chaz that gender is not between your legs, it's between your ears. It's in your mind, how you conceive it. And I'm like, okay. And I thought of that when that story came up about that white girl. Is race really in your skin? I mean, could it be more than just in your melanin? I have less melanin than a person from Africa. So why can't she say she's a black woman? Yeah, there you go. Why hate on her? Anyway, I know this is going to come back on the evaluation. You're not saying she's black. I'm not saying I'm black. I just do listen to rap from time to time. And
You listen to trap or regular? You listen to trap or regular?
Christian rap.
Oh, you're
Okay, Ms. Edwards. So, contrary. These are contrary. You know, it's either, and no pun intended, Black or white. Either all are or none is. Contrary. What Mr. Britto meant, and what a lot of people mean with contradiction, is actually this. Or this. Or this. And also this. These are also contrary. I say some people like chocolate ice cream. And someone says some people do not like chocolate. This is the contrary. You're directly contradicting. That's probably, I guess, the best way to remember contradiction. What is a contrary? It's a direct contradiction of the statement. All are, none are. Period. Some are not. Okay? Contradiction is you're saying the person is wrong, but maybe not 100% wrong. Okay? All cats are bad pets. Well, some cats aren't bad pets. My cats aren't bad. Well, yeah, they're bad. You know, poop outside the litter box, pee on my stuff when they get angry with me. What? Two girls. They're Sweden. Well, one is a Swedish cat who actually never hurt anybody, but the other one has no attitude, bigger than her tiny body. She runs the place. But someone says, what's creepy? Cats are just different from dogs. Okay? You have to let the cat come to you. Dog already wants to come to you. Well, the cat is not. So, all cats are bad pets. Well, yes sir, have a good game, gentlemen. No, some cats are not bad pets. I've contradicted you. If I say no cats are bad pets, without exception, I have contradicted, I've directly contradicted you, which is contrary. I'm being contrarian. It's the adjective. If you ever hear someone talk about, and I've used this word before in class, you look it up, a good word to, add to your vocabulary, someone who's contrarian. If you say black, that person always has to say white. If you say vanilla, that person has to say chocolate. There's some people like that. They always have to take the opposite opinion. They're contrarians. They're contrarians. They're not just saying you're somewhat wrong. They're saying you're totally wrong. And they're always totally right. There might even be some people like that in the classroom.
How does it work the some or not?
Yes, Ms. Montez.
How does it work with the some not?
It works the same way. If I say some not, I'm being contrarian. Some cats are bad pets, you say some are not. You're directly contradicting me. Some are not, period. Snap. End of conversation.
No, it's contrary.
I'm telling you, yeah. How can you remember it? It's the snap.
Contradiction with the no and the all.
What do you mean?
Because you're going from all people
If I say
are bad cats, whatever, and then you go, no, contradiction with some are not, then how you do it backwards is square goes from whatever.
I just feel like this is going to take some time. I'm going to sit. Went jogging the other day. I started to jogging in the warmer months. Oh, man. Okay, Ms. Montez, what's going on? No. Restate it.
Which counts as participation? How close to where like doing this?
Well, we're not one-on-one, Ms. Montez. There are like 20-some people here. But yes, it does classify as participation. Just restate your question. I just wanted to sit down for a minute. Nothing personal. Just rephrase the question. problem? Do you understand your question?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. Well, you tell me. What did you hear?
That she doesn't understand, like, the all and the no, how that, I guess how that compares to some and some not. Really short.
So is your problem more the some and some not? Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought I heard too. So if I say some cats are bad pets, you say no cats are bad pets. You're contradicting. Okay? I just want to sit here. Don't start, sir. Don't start. You're going to get me fired. It would be very easy for someone to think, someone said that, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, Mr. Dunn said that, you know? It's like, don't start, sir. Let's think this through. Well, let's start from the beginning. If I say all something is something, okay? All apples taste good. Someone says no apples taste good. None at all. What's the matter? So, well, you say no apples taste good. Okay, you're being contrary. Direct contradiction, no room for argument, snap, period, end of story. Okay, that's what a contrary is. Okay? Some apples taste good, and you respond, no, some don't taste good. You're directly contradicting me. You're being contrary. You're taking my statement and negativizing it. You're not even allowing for the fact that, some could taste good. You're saying, no, some don't taste good, period. End of story. I get that a lot in this class, by the way. A lot of shutdowns. A lot of shutdowns. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Storer, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's like you try to open a dialogue and then it's like.
So I know and no it's a direct
Anyway,
contradiction.
hold on. We just done the contrary. Contradiction is all apples taste delicious. All apples taste good. Okay? And then someone says, some do not taste good. Okay, some do not taste good. So now you're contradicting my statement. Okay, there's an openness to contradiction. You see what I'm saying? That is not there for contrary. Contrary is completely shutting the door. No, none taste good, or no, some do not taste good. Like you're just not considering the fact that some could taste good. You say some do not taste good, therefore they don't taste good. Basically, is the implication. Okay, in a contrary. But in a contradiction, it's more open. You see what I'm saying? All taste good. No, some don't taste good. Some taste good. No, none taste good. Okay. Well, yeah, it says an open contradiction.
Or you leave room for.
You're leaving room for argument in a contradiction, or in a contrary, you're not.
But it's still a contradiction.
I would say that a contrary, is a type of contradiction. I just call it a direct contradiction. Direct contradiction. But as I said, just remember the staff. I'm not trying to be, I am kind of being silly, but, if you've ever been in a salon or something, and, you get some of the ladies, I'm not trying to be chauvinist, but, the conversation starts and people start disagreeing, and someone just ends it with, that's it. I don't want to know more about it. End of story. Get me the weed. Get me the weed and shut up.
I think you said the what? I thought you said the weed.
Don't people do weed anymore?
Yeah.
Or are they just doing those weird eyebrow things? I don't even know what is going on with the eyebrows? What's up with the eyebrows now? Women are now paranoid about their eyebrows? Really? Huh? They frame your face?
shave your eyebrows.
Women, let me tell you something, and I know I'm being recorded, so I'll say this. A lot of you know, the women I see, I'm not saying necessarily women in my class, a lot of them look fine already. They look, they don't need, if you want to wear makeup, that's great. I make no judgment, I'm not saying nothing, if you want to see yourself up, and that's a good word where I come from is that word. You want to make yourself look prettier, that's fine, but a lot of women, like if they just roll out of bed, they look fine to me. But, okay. So now you got to do your eyebrows. I don't know, but women are like sticking all sorts of stuff in their hair, like their hair isn't already beautiful. I'm just saying. How many boyfriends say, honey, you got to get a weave? I don't think so. Or wear high heels. That's another big thing, because those actually harm your spine. They harm your spine. I don't care if they look cute. Yeah, you can still rock it, ladies, with just, without high heels. I know women want to push stuff up and make them look. Whatever. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. Huh? Okay, so do you understand, or is there anything else? Yeah, I did.
It's all the same.
Look, no, it's not all the same. It's not the same as
You said some and some not. It's contradiction. So then Hebrew for contradiction to no. Because you keep saying that.
It's not all the same, because if you contradiction is more open than a contrary.
Yes.
Contrary means you're closing off any sort of further possibility. Okay, contradictions are you're just stating something against the person. You're giving a counter example, or just giving a counter statement. Just like well, there are people like that as well. People who want to always be right, they're contrarian. But a person who just always wants to contradict people, they're not contrarian, they're just jerks. Just like that. Isn't it a nice day? Well, no, not really. They're not saying there are no nice days. They're just saying, this is not a nice day for me. It's open, You got it? Maybe. Okay. Well, let it settle, this contest. Well, it's kind of like, letting Indian food digest. You gotta let the spices, the beautiful flavors, just kind of settle and digest. I gotta get back on my horse. Not time to go, sir. Plenty of time. Conclusion. Conclusion, not 12:30. Oh, okay. I wanted to tell you that. Tautology. I looked up the word for us. Tautology. I don't think I put it on the. No, I don't think so. There it is. Okay, I did look it up. Okay, conclusion, to shut something up. So think of a conclusion like when the premises are the things you're putting in the box, the present, the gift, if you will, and the conclusion is when you shut it up. You make sure all your premises are in there, they're all the way you want them to be, packed nicely so they won't get broken, okay? And only when you're sure you have all the premises you want in your box do you shut it up. Close it. To enclose. To confine it. Concludo. That's what concludo means. A conclusion. You are shutting everything up together, tying it up in a bow, and, hopefully, it's a good gift. But as you know, sometimes you can open a gift, open a box, and find the stuff inside ain't that good. Ain't that good. The premises might be rotten. or you forgot to poke holes in the box so that the premises could breathe. Now the premise has to go into a garbage bag. No? What? A little bit too creepy for you? Alright, whatever. Anyways, my point is that's basically what a conclusion is. When you bring the premises home, all these things that you're trying to argue for, you bring them home. Another way to say, this is from Kelly, he talks about the premises or the conclusion being inferred from the premises. I thought I put it on one of these. Nope. I could have sworn I put it on one of these PowerPoints. Oh well. Infero, the Latin word infero, to infer. Oops. To infer, I'll write it on the board then. What does it mean? Oh, okay. Infero, infere, intulitum. Very irregular. Actually, not that irregular. Infero means to carry forward.
It's like carry, place, bring to place.
Okay. Was that on a PowerPoint before?
Yes.
Good. What is it? What is it?
To carry.
Okay.
Put.
Carry. Put. Place.
And bring to place. To a
Good.
place.
Okay. So the idea of carrying your brain. So there is an inference. The conclusion is inferred. The premises carry you forward rather, your mind, to the conclusion the person wants you to reach. Now, the conclusion may be wrong, however, that's why you need to do the intellectual work of examining the premises to see, are they valid? Are they valid? Are they cogent? Okay? When you're doing your assignment, Sadducees want you to lead Jesus to the conclusion that there is no resurrection from the dead. And the inference from their example of the woman married 7 times, which might be a reference to the book of Tobit, by the way, which is in Catholic Bible. Because it's the story of a woman who's been married 7 times and all her husbands have died. But the story's a little bit different. Anyway, they're using this example of, totally hypothetical example of a woman whose husband died and then remarried, and that husband died 7 times, to somehow bring Jesus to the conclusion that there is really no resurrection. Okay? So an argument, according to Kelly, can also be described as an inference. Something that is carrying you, bringing you along to the conclusion. But as I told you before in the previous class, you want to be careful that you don't stumble into a tautology where the conclusion is implied in premises. A lot of you in your writing about Ted Cruz fell into tautology after tautology. Okay? A tautology might be, well, Ted Cruz is an American citizen because he said he's an American citizen. Well, that doesn't prove anything. He's a citizen because he's born of an American mother. Okay? That might prove he's a citizen, but on the question of naturalization or not, that's a whole different question. So like the example I gave you, the Bible is inspired. Well, how do I know that? Well, then I quote from the scriptures. Well, it says in the 2nd letter of Timothy. Well, you're quoting the source that you're saying in your conclusion. The Bible is inspired. And then you go and you quote from the Bible. No, you have to quote from outside the Bible for your conclusion. The premises should be outside of the conclusion in a way. Like say, I believe the Bible is inspired from God because my parents told me so, or my pastor told me so, or I made an act of faith and belief, or when I read it, I get a nice fuzzy feeling in my stomach or in my soul, or all sorts of things. Those are all premises, which could then, I don't find any errors in it when I read it. I find that the spiritual teachings are better than other religions that I know about. All sorts of premises. Some of them may be strong, some maybe not, but you're not appealing to the Bible directly. So they're not tautological. They should be any premises should be outside of conclusion. Otherwise, as the Greek word means, tautos means identical words. Not sometimes you're not dumb. And someone say to me, some of my students, like, she knows who she is. I was talking about, sometimes I have problems with the way Kelly phrases things, or things that he's not very logical in the way he organizes stuff, describes stuff. Yeah, but you can see that because you're a PhD. No, that's because I think. And you think too. And just because, and sometimes don't second guess yourself, think that, oh, well, I'm just an undergraduate student. If you're reading something in Kelly, and you read it over and over again, and it doesn't make sense, the problem might not be in your head that you're dumb or something, or don't think that. The problem might actually be that Kelly, with his PhD and experience, is not being clear. Or maybe he has stumbled into an irrationality. Or me. Write something in your notes, you've taken it down correctly, it doesn't make any sense. It's like Ms. Montez was questioning me about the square thing. Professors can be wrong, getting them to admit it. You have to really have something on it to get it to admit it. But I do try to admit when I'm wrong or I make a mistake, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. And Kelly, your textbooks can be wrong. PolitiFact was wrong. A couple of you used PolitiFact in your Ted Cruz paper. Just because they're fact checkers doesn't mean they're not human beings with agendas, and they were totally wrong in using the 1790 statute from Congress, when right there in the footnote, all they do is look down and see the thing had been revised like 3 times. So they should have been looking at the one from the 1800s, and then after that there have been further revisions, but that's another issue. So, what is tautos and logos? Logos means word or speech or reason. Hence, we talk about logic, where logic comes from. Logos has a lot of meanings. The most basic meaning is word, speech. And so, if you're reading something over in your textbook and reading it over and over and over, it's not, break it down, parse it. It might be that the person has a tautology. The person is assuming something. I don't want to do that. Maybe I did want to do that. Huh? We already did that one. I guess I was going to give that example. Put it on the PowerPoint though. I decided to do another example. I love when she laughs at me. Yes, thank you. It keeps me humble and careful. No. Now this is going to be boring. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of boring to me. It comes up in Italian, which is not what I want. This is the official website for the Vatican, the Holy See, if you're ever curious. So when I go down here, I don't want our present Pope to see they have a timeline of all the popes. 260 some. I want Pope 6. article Humane Vitae. Sworn that I put something else. No? Never. Right there in English. We're not going to read the whole thing. I just want one section. I looked at page number 8.
Right there.
It's big enough for people to see. Can you see it in the back?
You want us to write that?
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I just want you to look at it. I should have put it on the PowerPoint, but I guess I was going to do something else, and now I can't remember what I was going to do. Something maybe funner, but I had that thing on that way. Just to make sure I didn't put it onto my flash drive. No, I did that. I showed you the commercials. No, I got it. Okay. It's a statement on, actually the whole statement is on the regulation of birth after birth control, but I'm not looking at that statement. I'm looking at this statement. This where it talks about marriage. Marriage. Who would like to read that for us? Nobody. Okay, Ms. Johnson. Loudly, please.
Marriage. I can't really see that.
Married love. Johnson, I can see it. Married love.
Oh, it's over there.
You wear eyeglasses or contacts?
Yes, I don't have them on today.
You don't have them on? Watch it closer. We'll do it the way. Want to get closer?
Okay, to the left.
Yeah, okay.
Married love is something to reveal its true nature and ability.
Nobility, good.
When we realize that it takes its origin from God, who is love, the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named.
Okay, we'll stop right there. Just that statement, when I parsed it, started to here, and then I redid it here. This is all my parsing just of that one sentence. Well, that one sentence. Where did I come up with? Married love reveals its true nature and nobility. Okay, so what you're doing with parsing is you're breaking down the argument into its thoughts, constituent thoughts. And once you have something that makes sense on its own, there's really no need to go further. So it's saying that marriage reveals its nature and nobility. Okay. My question was, is this statement predicated on anything? Is there a premise for this statement? You might say no, because it opens the paragraph, but if you look at what comes after it, the when we realize, that indicated to me, after I thought about it, that yes, the nature and nobility is predicated on this analogy that the Pope makes with God as a loving parent. So don't always assume that just because the first thing that comes first is, is not a premise, or it is a premise or not a premise. Sometimes conclusions come first. My question is it predicated on something? Is this a premise? Or is the Pope just making a statement, a conclusion? I'd say it's a premise. And that the conclusion is the analogy from parenthood. But even the conclusion, when we realize that married love, I don't want to stand in the sun. When we realize that married love takes its origin from God, okay, it's answering the question, I think, of how, Mr. Williams, of how love within marriage is and why it is noble. Noble. Which is another fancy way of saying good. You just said it's good. It's noble. It's high up there. Like nobility, they're like, it's a little bit of a classist, I guess, language that maybe we wouldn't use today, but, like the aristocracy is like supposed to be above everybody, okay? So the married state is above other ways of living from the point of view of the Pope. So its nature is based in God's love. And to me, that statement made more sense as a basis for saying the first part rather than vice versa, which is how I arrived at thinking that this is a premise. Okay? Because the statement, it takes its origin from God who is love, made more sense as the basis for saying A. How can I say that no, I don't want to say that. Oh, wait a second. Sometimes I can read my own notes. Remember when I said I'll admit when I'm wrong? I won't admit when I'm wrong. But no one's writing this down anyway. Maybe Miss Mendoza will. She's just doing it. Sorry. Reverse that. The first statement is the conclusion. This is hard. The first statement is, as I was saying, I know it didn't make sense when I was reading. Is the first statement predicated on something? Yes. So it has to be the conclusion. You're starting in the reverse. That's what I was trying to say. I started to say the conclusion comes first, and then I second-guessed myself. Yes, in this statement, he's getting into conclusion first. Marriage, what it is, and it's noble. Okay, what is that based on? A conclusion is based on something. Based on his understanding of a God who is love. So the statement, when we realize that married love takes its origin from God, that's a premise. Because the previous statement about the nature and nobility of married love is based on this premise, based on this statement after. But this premise is also based on premises. So even the premise of taking its origin from God, how does it take its origin from God? So Kelly does not do this, but I would. He mentions this idea, but he doesn't make it formalized. I would say that there are dependent premises and premises that are independent. See, Kelly mentions the fact that premises can be either independent or they can be dependent on each other. I'd say that there are premises that depend on other premises. I agree with that, and this would be one of them. So we need a further basis for what origin. You're asking a question of what origin in God. Origin in God, a God who is love. Who is love. And here he quotes from the Bible, the first letter of John, chapter 4, verse 8. I give that to you. It's not on. Did I give it to you? It's not there. It's not there. And the statement, I am giving it to you. So write it down. Make sure you're listening. The first letter of John, chapter 4, verse 8. From the Bible, from the New Testament. I wish I could write on this, but every time I try to write, it gets all screwed up. Doesn't seem to want to work for me. Yeah, that sends me back to this. Whoops. Copy, select all. Okay, but it won't go to what I want it to do, which is, give me that. Okay. You right click, which should bring up, whatever.
Just say it.
It would be better if I could write it and show it to you, though.
Write it on the board.
And it's better if I could write it on here, though. That's the problem.
Like this. Like I said.
Maybe if I, you know what it might be the problem? Because it's a browser. Maybe that might have been my mistake. Go away. Alright. Graphics options. Sounds like gadgets. Do other professors use the writing thing? Or do they avoid using it? Huh? They use the chalkboard? Alright, so that tells me something and I'm pressing all over the place.
Why would you use notebook for notebook?
I got it. No, I don't got it. It's oh, calm down. It's just like, you know, it's one of those things. There we go. I get on there, I press the open, and then it just won't do it.
Press a little higher right there. Now press where you're no.
Oh yeah, just now you tell me. Who said that? Who said that? This is the conclusion. This is A, which I would write A. Okay? So if you would just want to write it down, I would like to put it on the PowerPoint. I guess I forgot to, but whatever. Or maybe it was on the other PowerPoint.
Hey, married love. Is that the conclusion?
Yes. I think he starts out with a conclusion here.
So it's not a premise?
No, I don't
The
think
premise
so.
would be the one that the statement is after?
I think so, yes. I'm just looking here to see. Nope, not on it. Okay. Yeah, so number 8, it opens with the conclusion A, because I broke this up, the sentences up into A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, just to keep them organized, see. So when I'm writing and I write A, the conclusion, married love has a true nature, nature of truth, and it's noble, it's good. Why? Where's the premise for that? Where's the reason for that? And I think it's in the next statement that it takes its origin from God. So that in and of itself is a premise because it makes more sense as a basis for saying A rather than saying vice versa. Saying that married love takes its origin from God sounds more to me like a premise, a basis for saying married love that has a true nature and nobility, than if I reversed it and said married love comes from God. Why? Because it has a true nature and nobility. That, to me, doesn't sound right. It sounds more specific the other way around. Okay? It sounds married love and its nature and nobility sounds broader. Yes, I got other notes here. So I'd say it's a premise, but the premise that it takes its origin from God is dependent. How do I know that? Because the very next statement is a citation from an authority. The Pope chooses to use a quote from the Bible to support that statement. Love. God is love. Now, he doesn't really have to go on any further, even though he does. quote from another letter, but he could have just left it there and say God who is love, because he's talking about marriage as what gives it true nature and nobility. He could simply say love. So I would say that's a premise, but that's more of an independent premise. It doesn't need to be based on what follows, but it's not a conclusion. It's not a conclusion because there are a whole lot of assumptions behind that statement of why does he cite from 1 John? Well, I can think of a number of reasons the Pope would. The Bible's inspired by God. He believes it's God's revelation. 1 John is contained in the Bible. The author of John says God is love, so that means something to him. And that leads the Pope to the conclusion that love is part of the nature of marriage. So it's interesting that even that premise that I've identified of God who is love, which supports the conclusion about the nobility and the true nature of marriage, itself, even though there are implicit premises within that are not stated about by the Pope about the authority and the usefulness of the Bible, which is why he specifically doesn't quote from some philosopher, or he doesn't quote from the Bhagavad Gita of Hinduism, or whatever. He wants an authoritative source. For him it would be the Bible. So in that he's already making a conclusion. So I call this a conclusive premise, where the conclusion that he arrives at, that 1 John is an authoritative source for me to prove my argument. Okay, sometimes you have to make other conclusions to just arrive at a premise. So I call it a conclusive premise. Sometimes you have to think through things and then you arrive at your premise. Shuttle, sorry. Okay, see you on Monday. Forget a test. Have anything to give me, please give it to me. Yes. It'll be everything up until what conclusive premise. The last word is out of my mouth. And the last is, remember, conclusive premise. It will appear. It will appear.
You just mentioned it once. How would it appear?
Because I just mentioned it.
By saying that
If I mentioned it, it'll be on the very.
By saying it's 1 John.
Huh?
By saying it's connected to 1 John.
Yeah.
Or it's definition.
Quoting 1 John, I think that's a premise, but it's also derived from a conclusion that he makes based on the nature of how the Pope views 1 John is an authority to be quoted. And I went through some of the reasons why.
I believe.
He believes in the inspiration of the Bible. For example, 1 John appears in the Bible, which he believes in an inspired work, so he assumes that 1 John has an authority from God, and therefore he comes to the conclusion that he could quote it in favor of his conclusion about marriage. Signing off. Yes, Ness. Join the club.
The conclusion, so that's